Thanks, Misty. Hi, everyone. Thanks for taking time out of your really busy Tuesday, out of your week to come to class and practice with us. As always, just take a look around and make sure you're in a safe space. There's no slippery objects or cords or blocks or books or cats or kids that you might trip over. We're going to start either sitting or lying on our back. I thought the direction we would go today is just releasing some tension and letting go through the neck, across through the chest. So that'll include face muscles, eyes, jaw, roof of the mouth, things like that. Okay, so I think we're going to head in that direction, but as many of you know who come to class, I might just go a totally different way once we get started. But that's my intention, okay? So let's start either sitting. Remember, you can always sit in a chair. I forgot to grab one today, but you can always sit in a chair. Having a chair without arms is going to be a little more helpful than a chair with arms, but you can be creative, okay? So whatever we do on the floor, I'm gonna try, right, and make it adaptable so you can be in a chair, okay? So finding a comfortable seated spot, or if lying all the way on your back with your knees bent is more comfortable, you wanna find just a nice, safe, supported, pretty easy shape to start with. So we'll just take a couple moments to let our physical body slow down. And so the bones find the earth. We can work with gravity. Gravity drawing us downward, especially if you're lying back. If you're sitting, right, your sit bones and your thigh bones anchoring. If you're on your back, the skull and the spine, the hips and the feet. And then your bones slow down. And for some of us, as the bones, right, slow down as we connect and feel just more physical stillness, this helps us focus our attention on the movements of our breathing. And so it can be a really nice, mindful practice to feel the breath coming in and to feel the breath coming out. You might feel that in your nostrils or the base of your nose. You might feel that more in your chest or your belly. Let's just see if we can follow the feeling of inhaling, bringing breath in, and exhaling, letting that breath go. And each one of us has our own very unique connection to what we're feeling. So we're all feeling, maybe something similar, but different. And so what you're feeling is really quite unique to you, and it helps you understand your body, helps you understand your breath in a different way. So let's just see if we can keep our bones, right, pretty still. And then feeling the sensations, feeling the residue of your body breathing. We'll take 5 more breaths. And then with your next full exhale, nice and patient with the exhale, all the way to you feel that pause at the very, 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 very end of the exhale. When you get into that pause, letting your eyes open. And then we're going to rub your hands together just to get some warmth. All right. So rubbing your hands together, we're just going to do a little easy, just neck, shoulder massage. So just bring in your hands up. You can rub out your neck a little bit. You might go up behind your ears. I don't know about anyone else, like the back of my ears hurt from wearing a mask, right? The mask kind of grips into the back of my ears. I feel like the mask is pulling my head forward, right? So if that's you, right, it's kind of rubbing out through the back of your ears. You could go up if you feel comfortable, right, into your temples, across your forehead. You could do your face. So we're gonna spend one more full minute here. Just rubbing out, noticing and feeling. You can do this on your back or seated. I could probably take the whole class doing this. Right? You can come down right through your neck, across through your collarbones. I don't know about anyone else. I get really quite tight, almost like hurts to touch sometimes here around these collarbones. And so we'll take about 10 more seconds. And then you could definitely just keep doing, your little face, back of the ear, neck, jaw massage if you want, or you can bring your hands up across your collarbones. And just letting your fingertips be really nice and soft, right? And tracing out through. So your collarbone starting in and just tracing out and letting your fingers rest on that ridge. And I'm just going to try and let your chest relax. You might draw your arm bones back a little bit. So even if you're on the floor, right, you're drawing your arm bones right back, the back tips of the shoulders, not forcing into the floor or forcing back, but more like you can probably feel it release with your exhale a little differently. And then the shoulders resting down out of your ears. And then we're just going to hang out and ride the wave of the breath through the palms of your hands, through your fingertips. So you might put just a tiny little bit of pressure. And just seeing if you can feel those bones. It's pretty awesome, right? We're not consciously, right, manipulating the bones and the muscles. It's not like when we inhale, we're, right, consciously connecting and lifting up, right? This just happens. It's really quite awesome. So you're just letting your bones stay down out of your ears, your body in its neutral shape. And just riding that wave of feeling, right? The breath moves bones. We just want to feel that movement for about 3, 4, 5 more breaths. Authentic breathing, fully exhaling, saturating the upper ribs and lungs with your inhale, full exhale. Okay. So what's special about this is when we exhale, your chest muscles here underneath your hands release some grip. All right. So a lot of times, right, if you're on the floor and you want to sit up and watch for a moment, you can. But what happens right across the chest here is these pec muscles oftentimes contract, they shorten, and they pull the arm bones forward, and that gives us a little bit of that rounded posture, right? And it's really natural. We do a lot of things, right, in this shape. We type and we drive and we ride our bikes and we carry heavy things. So when we exhale, a couple really awesome things happen. These pec muscles allow the arm bones to draw back a little bit, and we get a little more space. Okay, that muscle lengthens. The pec muscle releases its contraction, and it can open up a little easier, a little differently. Okay, And then as we exhale, these muscles that run behind our ear to the front of the collarbones here also lengthen. So there's this natural like down and back through the upper shoulder girdle. So we're just going to try and feel that for maybe 3 to 5 more breaths. And then we're going to carry that idea into some of our standing postures, into some of our like lying back core exercises. All right, so back on the floor if you want to be on your back, sorry, or sitting up. Hands here, we're going to take 3, 5 breaths. So when you exhale, right, these muscles from the back of your ears to the front of your collarbones here, ooh, get a little longer and release. When you exhale, these pec muscles across the front of your chest, release. Eccentric, letting go, they lengthen, okay? So release, I mean by release, we'll define that as those muscles lengthening. 2 more breaths just because. Great, and then we're all gonna come onto the floor. All right, we're gonna add a little challenge here. So if you're sitting, sit. You're gonna do like a sit up in a chair. We're gonna lie back and do a sit up, okay? So we're lying back. You can start with your arms up towards the ceiling and coming out a little wide, or you could start with your hands crisscrossed on your collarbones. So we want to feel that connection again through the collarbones, through the side of the neck. So 3 breaths just to let your chest let go of some of that grip, to let your shoulders slide down out of your ears. Okay, less tension in the jaw, less tension in the tongue, down through your throat, down through your chest. And you keep that, right, with your arms up. Maybe you started here. Then we're going to bring the hands behind your head. So elbows wide. Okay, being mindful, right, that your shoulders, right, didn't hike way up into your ears. So again, as you exhale, just that natural shoulder drawing down, right? Arm bones still drawing down nice and heavy into the back of the socket. All right? If you're sitting in a chair, you can have your hands behind your head. Exhale, let your head get really heavy, dropping into your hands. See if you can feel your triceps connected to your upper back under your shoulder blades. So we're just gonna pause here for a couple more breaths, okay? So less tension, contraction in the tongue, in the jaw, in the throat, in the chest. Feeling also maybe then with that a little more strength through the back of your tricep, right? Through the back of your arm into your upper back. Let your head be really heavy. Let your arms hold your head. So when you exhale, you can lift your shoulders up and maybe look into your belly a little bit. Now really, right? Explore, get curious. Like how tight are you in your throat here? Are you using your throat a lot to hold you up? If the answer is yes, right, is there a way for you to connect more through your triceps, more into your core, therefore also more into your back muscles, okay? And then we're gonna lengthen your spine and lower down. We're gonna do 2 more. So a little more like an experiment. How can you connect more into your abdominals, triceps, upper back, right? Less in your neck, less tension in your jaw, the roof of your mouth, okay? So if you're in your chair, you can have your feet down on the floor and work like this. Next time you roll up, pause and find just the right place where you can get curious. Right? So getting a little more curious in, right, really how much effort are you using, right, in your throat, in your jaw, right? Are your eyes really penetrating, wanting to pull you forward? Maybe you soften the eyes, soften right? The roof of the mouth, the shoulders. And then when you're ready, we're gonna all take the head back down to the floor. If you're sitting in a chair, go ahead, just kick back. And then take a couple moments to resettle your body and then just feel your body breathe. And take 2 more full exhales, maybe, right? Allowing that breath to help you release some tension across your chest again. Release tension through the back of the neck. And then we're going to slowly roll all the way over and come to tabletop. All right, so building your tabletop here nice and strong. So we're going to put some of what we were just working on, right, from the back body work into this. So ears coming in line with shoulders. You can tuck your chin, right, and then feeling the back of the skull down through your neck into your upper back, right? As you tuck your chin and you look down, right, are you straining through the back of the head? Do you feel strain in the back of the neck? Like, I feel a little strain, right? Right where my occiput is, down to like the very first vertebrae there. So I'm just gonna take a couple exhales and try and let my breath ease that. And maybe you're feeling something similar. And it's just right, a little more just about awareness. Like, oh, I feel a little tension there. And then we want to feel the ears about the same height as the shoulders, and the shoulders about the same height as your hips. So we're not sagging down. And then we're going to try and feel and notice and connect to 3 exhales across your back. So as you exhale, feeling that breath spread across the upper back, ribs, and lungs. If you want a little more strength move, you can float your knees off the floor, and we're going to hold again, either with your knees down or your knees floating for 3 breaths. So again, this really strong connection across the upper back, down through your triceps. The more we can connect through these upper back muscles, right, the less we're going to have to grip in the neck, the less we're going to have to grip in the jaw. And then we're going to sit back on your heels or sit back in your chair. Okay, so toes are going to be curled under. You're going to just sit back. Okay, so taking the idea of that yoga sit-up. So as we all know, when we do that sit-up, the ribs draw down and back. Okay, so we want to keep this integrity and this strength as we take the arms back out in front. Okay, so working on stretching your shoulders, we're going to start with the right arm. The right arm's going to come up. It's going to have to rotate, okay? So I'm going to walk back here so you can see this rotation a little more. Arm comes up, okay? Then as it comes back behind you, 2 big things we have to really pay attention to. You can see my ribs pushed forward. So yoga sit-up idea or little sit-up idea, keeping your ribs down and back, and then the arm has to rotate. And when it rotates behind you in the socket, your thumb's going to rotate down, and then you're going to swing that arm forward. Okay? So just trying right here. You can go right as slow as you need. Ribs stay down and in. And as the ribs stay down and in, you're going to get that length and stretch and that release across the front of the pec. Okay? Then you're going to go reverse. You're going to take it back and up and rotate so it comes back out like a handshake. Okay? Should not tingle. Okay? It should not shoot pain. If it is, stop. Okay? If it's right, feeling really, really tight, you might take your arm out wider like a circle, right? Like you're doing a big circle. But going slow enough that you can feel how this arm bone rotates in that socket, okay? It can be a little confusing. And then you're gonna pause, shake it out, give it a little massage, okay? For, you know, me, I don't know about you, this adds, I kind of feel a little tight here now, right? So then we're gonna use the left arm. Same idea, sitting back, ribs stay down and in, reaching, reaching, reaching. Arm comes up, it finds that automatic rotation, and then it comes forward, okay? When that arm comes behind, that's where the ribs are gonna wanna pop forward, right? So it's probably where we all have to really slow down and be mindful to keep that rib drawing back. And then you can go the opposite way, right? If you want to do both arms, you could do both arms 1 or 2 times. Right? Remember, the ribs are really part of the priority here so that we get a little more stretch into the chest and less unnecessary movement through the spine, right? Good. If you wanted to pause, right, in that place of a little bit of challenge, like right here is where it's a little bit more challenging, where I really have to concentrate, you could pause there and take a couple breaths, find in your own body, right, where it's challenging, not just where it's challenging for me. And then you might go behind you and lift up. Last one, and then we're gonna shift gears a little bit. All right, so then your arms can come just down. You can shake it out, do a little kind of roll out. And then once again, we're just gonna cross your hands over your collarbones and pause for about 5 breaths. Right, and then anchoring into your sit bones, nice and grounded. That connection to grounding and stability, then bringing, right, that awareness to feeling the breath underneath your hands here. 2 more full inhales and 2 more full exhales. And then with your next exhale, we're going to figure out how to come all the way on up to standing. All right, so we're going to come on up to standing, step your feet wide. Okay, so heels in, toes out. You don't have to look down. You can feel equal-ish weight through your feet, right? Feeling what you can't see, okay? And then, right, that awareness of your body in space again. Ears back in line with shoulders. Shoulders stacked over hips, okay? So drawing that head back a little bit. This time we're gonna tuck your chin. So you're gonna drop your chin down and look right, kind of like a beeline right down your body. But when you dropped your chin, notice if you took your head forward, okay? So here comes the challenge. As you're grounding, bringing your head back. So you stay nice and equally weighted through your lower body, and then bring your head back and keep looking down, right? So your occiput is lifting up, that's your head handle, and your chin is dropping down, and you want to try and keep your ears back in line. And then you're going to go up and down a couple times in your sumo. So it's probably going to feel really weird, right? Something you maybe have never done. Then the awareness of the arm bones drawing back. Try to keep your head back. My head really wants to come forward, right? So I have a lot to concentrate and focus on, right? So it's important here as we do maybe 3 to 5 more that we stay pretty grounded and that we stay embodied. So staying present in feeling your ears back in line with your shoulders, feeling your chin drop, the back of your skull really lengthen up to stretch up through your mid-back, upper back, back of the skull. 2 more little sumos going up and down. And then after those 2, we're gonna come all the way on up. All right, we're gonna switch gears totally. So gonna shake that out, notice, right? If you have a little more freedom in your neck and your jaw, maybe just more awareness of how you feel your breath is up in your chest. Okay? So we're gonna just work on the lower body a little bit down in your core, lower abdominals through your low back and your hips, okay? So we're gonna start with a little bend. If you need a chair, right, use your chair, hold on. And we're gonna imagine we're out on ice. Luckily, we get to imagine it. There is no ice. But if you were on ice, right, your nervous system would not want you to fall and do the split. So you would feel heavy and your legs would draw in, okay? So we have this feeling of drawing in, leg bones nice and strong in your hips, okay? We're just gonna try and keep that pulling in feeling and bend the knees a little bit and come up 2 more times. Okay, then when there's a little bend, we're gonna go side to side. So there's a pulling in and then a pushing off. Okay. I'm gonna do it one more time to the right, and then pull and go over to the left and come back. Now, when you find this place, right, again, like if you were on ice, you're grounded, leg bones pulling in, right? Notice what's going on here now. Okay, I just noticed I was really tight up in my throat and across my chest. So if you have to bring your hands up here to let that chest exhale, have that sense of pec muscle release. Maybe exhale, that sense of neck muscles letting go, shoulders resting down. Set your little sumo up. And I say little because we don't want a really big, deep one. Okay, so not a whole lot of bend is necessary. Ears back with shoulders, chest releasing, neck releasing. Right? Maybe imagine or feel the roof of your mouth a little more spacious as you bring your arms up. And then we're going to go out in warrior 2 arms and come and cross. If you want to bend and straighten your legs, go for it. You don't have to do it exactly as I am. Do something like this. All right, so we're going to come here and we're just going to hold for a moment. Okay, and then we're going to go side to side again. Okay, and then we're going to take our arms out with us. Okay, now when you take your arms out in front, right, out to the side, make sure you're not pushing forward, right? And see if you can feel your arms plugging a little more into your upper back as you go side to side. So your arm coming into, right, the back of the shoulder blade, and you're going to go side to side. Okay, then, right, when you get over to the right side, right knees bent, left legs straight, we're going to bring the arms down or your hands into your hips. And then we're going to push and straighten and bend this right knee 2 more times. So your left leg, right, nice and strong and long. Feel how your left leg can pull in, right, if you are on that sheet of ice. And then straighten the right leg. And then bend the left leg. Right leg pulls in like you're on that sheet of ice 2 more times. Good, and then one more little sumo. Little, meaning we don't need a lot of knee bend. Pause, come back. What's going on now, right? When we distracted ourselves down here into our lower body, did we tense up in the upper body? So now this relationship, nice and strong, grounded, connected through the lower body. Take a couple exhales. Come back, ears drawing back with shoulders, shoulders drawing open, down out of the ears, stacked over your hips. And you find a little more openness, a little more release through the neck, across the collarbones, 2 more breaths. And then we're going to straighten the legs and walk them together. All right, so let's bring your arms just down by your sides here. Okay. We're going to take them a little bit wide so there can be a little bend here, and then we're going to bring them in. Okay, so inhale, exhale. Okay, you can swing them front body. Inhale, you could exhale, swing them back body. Okay, try to keep your spine nice and pretty darn stable. So, meaning when you swing your arms, especially behind you, you're not pushing your chest forward a whole lot. You don't need a whole lot of movement in the spine, nice and strong through that rectangle core. You can start to go a little bit higher, kind of base it on your mobility. And then we're going to do 2 more. Okay, then if you want a little more challenge, turn it into a little bit of like a chair squat. Okay, now, quick reminder, your chair squat is more about your hamstrings and your glutes. So the shin stays more upright. It's not coming, right? We're not coming way out in flexion like that with your ankles. Yeah, flexion, but right, it's really different. It's more like, oh, I want to sit in a chair, and then I decide I don't want to do that, okay? You want to keep swinging the arms. We're going to do 3 more, or you could, right, just bring your hands down to your hips. Then you're going to find like your Goldilocks chair squat and pause for a moment. And then again, right, when we distracted ourselves with the form of the chair squat, with the movement of the chair squat going up and down, what happened in our chest? What happened in your neck, in your jaw? What happened in your eyes? Did you tense up as you find your, Goldilocks, just the right chair squat, just the right placement of your arms, right? Maybe they're in your hips, maybe they're behind, maybe they're crossed in front. Come back, soften, open through your chest. Exhale, let your shoulders naturally release down out of your ears. Draw your head back, 2 more breaths. And then we come all the way on up to standing, kind of shake it out. All right, let's do a half sun salutation, okay? So stealing some sun salutations from yoga, you can start at the back of your mat. If you need your chair, you're gonna stand in front of your mat, okay? So, or in front of the chair. You're gonna exhale, take your arms out and up. Then we're just gonna pull the arms down and in with your inhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Okay, you can add a little bend, chair squat. We're gonna do 2 like this. And exhale, okay? Inhale, come up. This time, we're gonna pause. All right, check in. What's happening? Did your head come really far forward? Is your head back? Notice your eyes, your face, the roof of your mouth, right? Notice your upper back. Good. Then we're going to inhale. When you're ready, fold all the way over. Hands can be on the floor, the shins, or the thighs. Then we're going to exhale, lift your chest. Inhale, fold. And then you're going to find your downward facing dog. So maybe you come down to tabletop. Maybe you're using a chair, right? Maybe you stay in table, or maybe you come up to down dog. Knees are going to bend, hip creases draw back. 3 breaths, just to practice noticing what you notice, feeling what you feel. And then we're going to exhale, come down to tabletop, lower all the way down onto our bellies. Okay? Get nice and long here in your prone mountain. Crown of the head reaching forward, legs come together, pull your toes back. Okay, coming all the way full circle to how we started in that feeling of exhale, letting your neck muscles elongate and release. Right? That feeling that we connected to as we exhaled, let the pec chest muscles, right? Some of those chest muscles elongate and release. So arm bones can draw back, chest can be open. You might feel this a little more even across your upper back, nice and wide. What do you feel through the back of your lungs and your ribs? Okay, and then as you exhale, reconnecting into that feeling of that yoga sit-up, right? That little sit-up where the ribs draw down and in. They still do that. Now they're drawing up. So your front ribs are drawing more up, right? To really help lengthen and support your low back, okay? We're gonna do 10 little baby cobras, okay? So 10 little breaths here. We're going to inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, lower down. You don't have to lift your chest very high, right? Staying nice and knit through your abdominals, through your low back, chest lifts and lowers down. At any point when you're coming up and down, right, through your baby cobras, you can pause and check in, right? What are you noticing and what are you feeling? Bringing your mind to the muscles, right? And when you bring your mind to the muscle, right, feeling that exhale relationship to the neck lengthening, that exhale relationship to the pec muscles releasing, lengthening. Chest might feel a little more open, okay? So we'll do this maybe 3, 4 more times. If you want to pause, pause, or keep going up and down through your little baby cobras. And then when you get to your next exhale, right, we're all going to lower down. Just let your head rest on your hands. So you can just cross your hands, bring your forehead down. And then this connection of your front body being anchored and supported by the ground. As you exhale, if you're comfortable here, you can roll on your back if you want. But we're going to exhale and just really let the whole front body release into the floor. You can turn your head and look to the right or the left, so that might feel a little more comfortable on your face. But this idea, right, of letting the front body have grounding, releasing. Good, 2 more breaths. Good. Then we're going to plant your hands out by your sides. Take a big fork in the road. Okay, so some of you might want a little more challenge. You're down here, okay, elbows are out, right, hands are planted, curl your toes. If you can feel you can do it, lift your belly up. So you're going to start by lifting your belly up off the floor and then pushing up to a plank pose. Others of us might just come to a tabletop. You might hold your plank for a little bit. You might hold your table. So again, ears in line with shoulders, shoulders in line with hips, strong, 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 wherever you are, table, plank, maybe you're tired, right? You need a rest. You're gonna come back to child's pose. So holding, I know we've been holding for a little bit. We're gonna keep holding for about 30 more seconds if you want. You have lots of options, challenging yourself in your plank, your table, or going back to your child's pose. From your plank, if you're still there, take an exhale, let your knees come down, and then we can all press back to child's pose. Round over your legs. Let your physical body find some stillness again. And then drawing in to feel your body breathing. We can just ride the wave, the sensations, the feelings. I have a few breaths here. And then coming up, finding a comfortable seated shape. So I'm going to come on up, crisscross applesauce, or if you want to go back on your back, you can. All right, if you have to run to work, I have 12:47. We're just going to spend 1 minute just to ground, feel our breath, right? So if you need to get up and go, go. If you have 1 more minute, we're going a little over. Sorry about that. You just want to come up. If you want to come back and bring your hands across to your collarbones, right? Maybe you put a hand on your chest. Maybe you want to end with a little bit of face, shoulder, neck massage. Just coming back to that attention, that awareness of the movement here that automatically, naturally happens, right, from breathing. As you exhale, you might feel that really subtle movement, right, of the shoulders. You might feel that subtle movement of the collarbone. Subtle movement through the neck, through the back of the skull. Good, and then let's just all take 5 more breaths together. And then after those 5 breaths, when you're ready, just letting your eyes open. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to open up Q&A. Thanks for your patience when my computer kind of just went away from me. I'm not sure what happens over here at Sock Trails, but every now and then I lose everything. I completely lose connection. So thanks for your patience. I'm going to open up the chat, so feel free if you have questions, especially about like shoulder rotation. If it was painful, if something didn't work, let me know. Yeah. Thank you. Right? Sometimes when we don't have a whole lot of time to explain stuff, it's hard. I feel like I go really fast through the anatomy piece. I want everyone to understand that piece. Maybe we'll continue in that direction next week a little more. Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, that's a really good point. I'm glad you wrote that. So like with the COVID shot, I was just around a friend who just got one. Yeah, and her arm was so sore, and it went all the way up into her neck and her jaw. So maybe what we did today would have been helpful even a couple weeks ago. So those of you, right, still getting COVID vaccines, thanks for doing that. And then, yeah, moving that around and then massaging through that neck and jaw. What if you don't have enough flexibility in your knees to do child sit? How can you increase this flexibility to be able to do this? Or what alternative positions can you be in when you do the arm exercises in the beginning? Well, so one thing with the child's pose, I don't know what it's like for you on your back. You can always, right, roll on your back, right? And it's also nice on your back because you're not putting weight in, or you're not putting the same amount of weight on the knees, so you can come back. I don't know if you have like this much flexion in your knees. That's quite a bit, but you can hold your legs even like this in a child's pose and take them out wide, if that works, and just kind of sit like this, and get a lot of the same benefit. You're going to get nice and wide through the back kidneys and back through that lower back. So I'm not sure if this works for you, but you can, start there. And then one way is just working like even in our sumo, right? So it's like knee and ankle flexion, a lot of knee stuff. So even just working in our sumo, if you have to hold on to something, just working over time and getting a little more flexion in the knees, right? And so even just like a squat like this, right? Getting the shin to come forward and the shin to come back. That same development happens right in these like warrior poses, anything for strong knee ankle flexion, okay? And then the second part of your question, Barbara, was your knees to do, how can you increase flexibility to be able to do this, or alternate, can you do in the, wait, or what alternative position can you be in during the arm exercises as in the beginning? I don't remember. I think like the arm exercises, like going out and doing this, you could all do this in a chair sitting. if we were doing like these exercises, you can do that right in a chair. You can do that just standing. So any of the arm exercises we were doing that I can remember, I think you can do those all just right with the chair without arms or from standing. I hope that made sense. I hope that's a good answer. All right, have a fabulous week.